how do we observe the Sabbath today? That is a question I've asked myself. I grew up thinking that the Sabbath was something of the Old Testament and maybe not something that was super important for believers on the other side of Christ's death. But this project provided the perfect opportunity for me to do research for myself, to figure out what do I think about the Sabbath and how can I worship God better by observing it. To begin with, the Sabbath is supposed to be kept holy. That's the command we are familiar with. Honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. But what is holy? Holy is this idea of something being dedicated to God and for God. And so essentially, when we're keeping the Sabbath holy, we're setting apart a day and doing what it takes to focus on God, to abide in God, to remember the way He's delivered us, to thank Him. It's a day that's dedicated to God. And many believers celebrate this on Sunday. So we're going to church, we're having fellowship with other people, we're worshiping congregationally. But what about those of us who serve at church? What if it doesn't really feel like rest? How do we enjoy the Sabbath? The most important thing about Sabbathing is understanding that rest is here for us as believers. Christ gives us this peace that surpasses all understanding. So though we may be in the dark about what God is doing in our life, it may feel unrestful, we're not in the dark about who God is. And His character is enough for us to say, okay, we can rest. We can rest in His character. So what I think is helpful is the exact translation, to cease. To cease work. I ask myself, what seems burdensome? And what can I not do for a day? I can do my homework 6 days of the week and rest on the 7th. I can be sure by the time my Sabbath comes around, my laundry is done, my dishes is done, so I can have a day where I can just focus on God and be grateful. I can connect with other people. The Sabbath isn't supposed to be burdensome. It really is God's gift to us. We wouldn't ever say, you should eat chocolate and you should go on vacation. And that's the same thing when we say, you should Sabbath. It really isn't a should, it's a get to. God ceased His work on the 7th day, so why shouldn't we? I hope this video encouraged you to observe the Sabbath.